Alright, so Halloween Kills just came out in theaters last night and on Peackcock today. The sequel to 2018's Halloween, but also the third movie within this timeline. You know, these timelines are all over the place. Now, if you watch the Halloween films to really just watch Michael Myers kill and terrorize people throughout the city of Haddonfield, then you'll love this film. This Michael Myers might be the most savage and gruesome that we have seen in the entire franchise. Now, there are definitely some things in this film that are going to give people mixed opinions on, and we'll get to those parts later. And yes, this is going to be a review with spoilers. Personally, I don't care for spoiler-free reviews. If I'm going to watch a review on a movie, I'm going to watch it afterwards, no matter what, spoiler-free or not, just so I can have my own opinion on the movie first. James Jude Courtney, who plays Michael Myers in this film, he might be my favorite portrayal as Michael Myers. Honestly, he just fits the costume so well. The mask, I love what they keep doing with the mask, and they really pay attention to details. It takes place right after the 2018 Halloween, just like the Halloween 2 sequel did back in 1981. And clearly we last see Michael burning in Laurie Strode's house. Obviously, you know he's going to escape. And obviously, this is going to be a trilogy, so come on, you know they're not going to kill him. So this movie really starts with a flashback, actually, to John Carpenter's 1978 Halloween, and they added in some scenes to that film where they give you more of a story of what happened that night with Officer Hawkins and other characters as well, and how Michael Myers got caught by the police within that timeline. And honestly, this is a pretty risky move because they brought back Dr. Loomis. You know, Blumhouse doesn't have as much money as, say, Disney would, so they went with the route of getting someone that looks like him and maybe adding some effects to him, but, you know, they don't have all the money to do the huge CGI effects. And honestly, it worked. And what else that worked for those scenes as well is they really made it look like the 70s with the film and the lighting. They honestly did a really good job with it. So after we get more of a story of what else happened that night in 1978, it jumps back to where Michael is escaping Laurie Strode's burning house, and really just a great opening sequence in that as he looks so badass coming out of that house. He takes on a group of firefighters and just kills all of them so brutally. And what I like about this film as well is that the choice of weapons for a decent amount of the film, they're all different. You know, Michael Myers doesn't have to have a big knife all the time. And honestly, sometimes I like it even better when he doesn't have the knife. So once we learn that Michael Myers has clearly escaped, it takes a decent amount of time to introduce these characters from the 1978 film, with Anthony Michael Hall as Tommy Doyle, Nancy Stevens coming back as Marion Chambers, Robert Longstreet as Lonnie Elam, and Kyle Richards as Lindsay Wallace. And they explain pretty thoroughly what went on that night and who these characters are. You know, probably for the new incomers for the Halloween franchise. I mean, I feel like with a lot of horror movies, some people just hop on board or just want to go see a good scare, so they'll just go see a horror movie. You kind of need to do a good amount of explaining with how much they throw at you right away with this film. And once these citizens of Haddonfield discover that Michael Myers is still on the loose, mainly Tommy Doyle, who is really the ringleader of getting people together to go and hunt for Michael Myers, because as he says 1,000 times, evil dies tonight. And of course, you know, once Laurie Strode finds out that he's alive as well, and her daughter Karen do, they think that Michael Myers is going to come to the hospital to kill Laurie. Well, surprise, Laurie, it's not about you. He just wants to go home. But really, throughout the Halloween franchise, doesn't he always make his way home? Like, I'm confused. Like, he's always coming home. He's not just after, well, I guess he's got to kill the family members in the older movies. But either way, he always makes his way home. What I do like about the Halloween films in general is that in some sort of way, they do pay a homage to the older films, even though it may not be in the same timeline. One of them being Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which is kind of sort of my favorite homage because that movie kind of gets a lot of hate for being the only Halloween film without Michael Myers, but I actually like that film. They bring back the Season of the Witch mask that they make at the factory. You got the pumpkin, the witch, and the skeleton. I just love seeing those masks coming back into the Halloween franchise, to be honest. You also have a scene where these kids play a trick on people living in the Michael Myers house. And what these kids do is they pull a prank on them where they act like one of them bit into a razor blade in one of their candies, so the other kid can go into the house and steal the rest of their candy. And if you've seen the 1981 Halloween 2, you know that that's how it opens up with the hospital. A mom and her son are going into the hospital because the kid bit into a razor blade. Really, honestly, kind of a lot of similarities to the 1981 Halloween 2 to this one, even though there's no connection at all within the timeline. In the 1981 Halloween as well, they kill an innocent person out of fear. And this happens in Halloween Kills as well. And I know this might be the scene that has people feeling mixed emotions about, is they create this mob mentality, and it's supposed to be like a social commentary scene, where this other inmate who escaped as well is running throughout the hospital, and it's clearly not Michael Myers. You know, just out of fear, there's this whole mob that's chasing after this person, forces him up to one of the higher levels of the hospital and jumps out of the window and kills himself because, I don't know, he's scared, you know? And it just felt like they took a lot of time on this scene and sort of felt out of place. Now, I know what they wanted to do was fear is controlling them and ended up killing an innocent person, just like it did in the 1981 Halloween 2 as well. But I think it could have been done a different way and a little better, to be honest, in my opinion. We don't even know the inmate's name, who that they're chasing after. And what bothers me too is that it's blurred out, but you can see on the TV in the bar where they're all at to learn that Michael Myers has escaped, you can see Michael Myers' picture on the screen as well as the other inmate that has escaped as well. You're not going to sit here and tell me that after 40 years, they're not going to know what Michael Myers looks like. Also, Michael Myers is not going to run away like that. He's going to fight y'all. So I just thought that whole sequence in general could have been done differently. And, you know, for the most part of this movie too, Laurie Strode is sidelined in the hospital, just like in Halloween 2 as well, in 1981, which is understandable. I know for some people that might have bothered them, but it didn't bother me at all. You know, she is wounded and needs to recover. She just had surgery on her inside, so he wants to go home. The Michael Myers house is currently lived in by these two characters named Big John and Little John. Now, first off, what I did like is that they brought back the original look to the Myers house in the 78 film. Michael Myers house has gone through many transitions throughout this franchise, and it looks exactly like it did now from the 1978 film. And these characters of Big John and Little John really give us a great comedic relief as Michael McDonald plays Little John, which I know him from the Mad TV skits, and he was really funny in those skits. Those two played off each other really well, and I actually really like the comedic relief in that scene. Now, they do tone down the comedy in this film as well, but I'm glad they didn't totally get rid of it. Come to Michael's house in order to look for him and kill him, which, first of all, is a stupid idea, because who the hell is going to go to Michael's house with a group of 2 or 3 people and expect to stay alive? Once Michael Myers attacks Allison, Karen shows up and is able to get Michael Myers down as she stabs him with a pitchfork, doesn't finish the job, takes off his mask, basically sets a trap as she puts the mask in the middle of the street where Michael Myers falls to, and all of a sudden the mob of people show up with bats, guns, everything you name, to just tag team this killing Michael Myers shit. But oh no, you can't kill the boogeyman. You can't, I mean, there's going to be a third movie. We all knew that. So we all knew that he wasn't going to die. As far as the music went, I thought they did a great job with it. Whenever they showed the flashbacks from 1978, they made it sound exactly like the music was in the original John Carpenter's Halloween. Also with this Halloween and the 2018 Halloween, a sort of different sound that they add to Michael Myers' theme. They add this really deep and low, almost sounds like a siren that just goes off a few times. They play it when he hunts Allison in the 2018 one. Let me see if I can show you a little piece of what it sounds like. I mean, come on, who wouldn't get hyped up from that? Now, sometimes I do wish that even the second Halloween was still canon within this timeline, because they make it seem like now, after just the first Halloween, where Michael Myers didn't nearly have as high of a body count, that this town, it just is obsessed with it for over 40 years with what it did to Laurie and all the other past characters who celebrate it on Halloween every year at this one bar. It just makes it not as believable as to why this town is so obsessed with Michael Myers. Now, if the other films were canon and Michael Myers had been terrorizing the city of Haddonfield for all these years, then yeah, go ahead. I understand why the whole fucking town would want to rip this dude's head off. But from one night in 1978, that didn't affect as much people as it would have if all the other movies were canon, or even at least the second one as well, but whatever. So, overall, like I said, they did some things in this film that are definitely going to have mixed reviews on with Halloween fans. Past characters as well, with how Tommy Doyle was. I don't know, at some points he kind of got annoying, and some of the other past characters from the 1978 film didn't get as much screen time as they should have, but there's still a lot to work with this film. Now, like I said, if you watch the Halloween movies to just see Michael Myers cause carnage, you will like this film. I still like this film overall. I loved all the kills in this Halloween movie. I thought it was definitely a solid sequel. We definitely have Halloween films again where there is great music, there's great cinematography, there's great special effects and practical effects as well. And Michael Myers looks great in the last two Halloween films that we've gotten, especially with his mask. If you are a Halloween fan, I highly suggest to go see this film. I suggest to go see it in the movie theater. There's nothing like seeing a film in the movie theater. Loud noises all around you, crowd interaction with the film. There's nothing like it. So, as you know, it is also available on Peackcock. But let me know what you thought of this film. If it didn't sit right with you, if you loved it, let me know in the comments below.